Guild Boss 4 after the most recent update. Welcome back to another Bid Legend video, fellas. Just rolled out of bed, and what do I see? My guild has taken down Guild Boss 3, and here is the tank offhand piece. So, this is kind of cool because it's something I get to roll on. Most of the players that are farming Raid 8 are using me as their tank, and so getting this item will help them out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, there's a little, I don't know if burnout is the right word for it, but basically gear is so rare once you hit Q9, whether you're trying to get gear from Raid 6, Raid 7, or Raid 8. Gear is super rare, and I'm hearing reports of players burning out. I'm seeing in my own guild players just being a little bit less pumped because, you know, you run 200 raids on a 200% boost or 800 raids on a 200% boost, and you're doing Raid 8, which is very difficult. Which fortunately my guild can do on the highest difficulty, but we've had at least 10 people make serious pushes into Raid 8. Only one, after over a month of farming, has gotten a mythic item. So I'm kind of concerned about that for the community, for my guild. I would say pay attention to the announcements. I think I'm going to be very excited about the next announcement coming out. Nothing's official yet, but I think it could help the situation with the upgrade materials. I think it could help the situation with items dropping and whatnot. And we've recently seen that loot box added to the raid bosses. So I think they're making moves to help those things. So stay tuned. But anyways, what I'm rambling about is the bright side is I talk with the tanks in the guild, and since I'm the most used tank as far as raids, everybody's pretty cool with me bidding on this. And it'll boost me a good bit, and then it'll help them in their raids. So hopefully we'll keep player interest and whatnot while we're waiting. So this is my first time bidding on anything. This is the interface that it brings up. We're gonna click use. It says my bid. Does it say my name anywhere? Let's see if let's click on bid history. Doesn't show the history, so I guess other people can see my name there, but I can't see my own. I can obviously see the my bid tag there. So first time using that, that's what it looks like. There you go. We've talked in the guild. Keep in mind that there is no mechanics in the auction to avoid snipes. So 21 is very low. Pretty much anybody in the guild could overbid this. I have less to worry about because I'm a tank, and people don't want tanky gear. And all the tanks have chatted. So I still think there should be master loot for guilds that want that option. I feel like on the main page here, there should be like a little X box somewhere that says if your guild is using master loot, and if your guild is not using master loot, the guild can't just switch that box when something drops. It has to be set beforehand, but that way the GMs could decide where loot's gonna go. But anyways, this is a video about Guild Boss 4. I just wanna show how the auction works. We're gonna click on Guild Boss, and we're gonna jump over here. And the 10 at the bottom of the screen is the reset points. So we killed Guild Boss 3, we got 10 reset points. You need 30 reset points to reset the bosses. So unless we killed Guild Boss 4 next week, which is unlikely, we will not have enough to reset next week. But we'll need to get a little faster, a little stronger anyways. But going back to the loot, it is the third week of Guild Boss, and we still haven't had any DPS set pieces. So it feels pretty rough when you've got like 26 DPS mouths to feed, but we'll get there. Things will happen. Take a look at the DPS. So about 5 people hit punched at this thing. You can see the damage numbers are very low. I think Sook1 hit it a couple times, but it's rough. So the Guild Boss 4, the only change to Guild Boss 4, if you remember the last change where they removed the shielding, is that he had 40% crit, and then now he's going to have 10% crit and 30% life steal or life drain or hit point drain, whatever it's called. And that's a problem. That is a potential problem. Swordsman's gonna stay in because he's amazing. I'm gonna take Final Mech out and put in Moonlight. I think I need a tank in the second spot. I think this guy does attack front too. Also, I think he does furthest as well, so I don't know. We'll see. I watched the previous video of me fighting this guy, and he just completely destroyed my team every time, so it's kind of hard to get good info off of that. But here we go. So you already see him doing the life drain. The question is, can he life drain more damage than you can deal to him? And we've already had a report from somebody in the guild saying, yes, he has. So we're going to get some data here. You saw the percentage on the boss before we did the battle, and you'll see the percentage on the boss after we do the battle, and you'll see whatever damage I'm able to do. But he's life draining a good amount, fellas. I think I'm dealing more damage than the life drain. My team still gets completely smoked. But keep in mind, I mean, I'm wearing like 3 pieces of epic gear, so my total stats is not exactly where it should be anyways, but yeah. I think we're going to do less damage to him this week than next week. So based on my numbers, I don't believe that he is draining more than the damage I'm dealing. However, once I'm down to only my tank, I guarantee that he's going to drain more than I'm going to do. But let's just let it play out. I'm okay with testing this week because the chance of us killing him is like 0, so you can just kind of punch at it and do whatever. But damage super low. I should have looked at what his percentage was before. I think we were super close. I think I only did a little bit more damage than he drained. But if you are I'm a tank, I'm doing poor damage. If you're a tank with lower total stats than me, if you are a lower gear player, yeah. What you're probably going to end up doing, if you're in a boss that's even close to realistically clearing this thing, is hit the boss and then click the red X in the top right corner and just exit out. That way you can use your attacks, you can get your kill points, you're participating. But if you fight him for a long time, like, yeah, we did 7K if you subtract the life drain there. I used to do 20K, like 10 to 20K on him per run last week. So we're actually doing less damage this week than we did last week. So I don't know. Guild Boss 4 is still bonkers. It's still hard for me to give a fair assessment of this because, again, this is the highest content. We are not wearing the highest gear. But before the change, my team was dying to the attack all skill without crits, so reducing the crit chance, I don't really notice that too much, to be honest. Yeah. Yep. I'm just kind of going off the battle text on the screen. It looks like I'm dealing more damage than he is healing for. But it's super close, and I'm pretty sure that... I don't know. I don't think any of these bosses should have sustain. I don't think they should have sustain. I don't think it's a good mechanic for this type of game mode. But my team's just getting crushed. I don't want to bring more tanks because there'd just be more targets for him to drain off of. And I might as well take Azure out there and put something else in. But I don't know. It's bonkers. I'm still like 1,000 to 1,500 total stats lower than where I probably should be. It's one of those things, though. It's like, once you have the gear to beat the guild boss, you don't want the gear from the guild boss anymore. I don't know. That's not completely accurate here, but doesn't look great. So we took him down by 0.1. He was like 0.3. Now he's 0.2. Let's do it one more time. Take Azure out. I don't think it's gonna matter. Let's put in my boy Final Mech. Yeah. I don't know, fellas. But in 1 to 3 weeks, we got Guild Boss 5 coming out. We don't know what the compositions are going to be for that. There's a rumor that there's a new world boss in the mix, so that'll be interesting. If you have not yet gotten your quality or your amplifiers in check, new world boss will be new amplifiers, so that'll be a thing. And then hopefully he'll drop some sort of like mythics, and that'll be another alternative for players to get gear that's outside of Guild Boss. What I'm hearing from a lot of folks is there's a handful of strong players that are in weak guilds, and they don't want to leave their friends hanging. So those strong players are essentially stuck without a way to progress because, as I said, raids are not giving enough gear to really progress those top tier players. So that is a problem. And those guys are kind of getting some burnout because if you feel like the best gear is in Guild Boss and your guild can't hack it, what do you do as a player? You're just kind of stuck and you're waiting for a bunch of people in your guild to step up and make it happen. Or they end up moving to other guilds, and then there's a little bit of drama there, as there always is. So, yeah. Now, I do like to be very critical about the game and express kind of these ideas because that's how things get changed. I'm still very optimistic about the game. I just want to make my videos very realistic, and not just be like, oh, everything's amazing all the time. Like, there's some things that can improve, of course. On the bright side, we've been seeing improvements and movements and things every single week, which is definitely what I'm looking for. So let's go see what damage we dealt. I think I had just enough punching power to make sure that his health goes down, or I don't know. This is actually the same percentage that he had when we started. When we started, he was 99.28 before the last battle, so that stayed. So I don't know. I have just enough damage for him not to gain health on me, but I guarantee if somebody has less damage than I do, the chance of him sustaining more is bad. Honestly, I'd rather just have the crit. I'd rather have the crit. That way you can jump in there, try to get a full launch off if you're a DPS player, and then boom, you're dead in a couple rounds. But the life drain mechanic, like I said before, sustain on the guild bosses is not good for the mechanic. You're just asking for bugs and balance issues and problems. Oh, there you go, the health drops down. So I don't know if that was me or if that was anybody else. But anywho, since I honestly think that Unity is probably the only guild that's going to clear Guild Boss 3 this week, if any other guild clears Guild Boss 3, feel free to celebrate, let me know. But the reason I mention that is because no guild is going to come close to clearing Guild Boss 4 this week. So feel free to test your damage if you're